Good morning. I'd like to call the Door County Board of Supervisors to order on Tuesday, September 19th at 9 a.m. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Present but mentally disturbed.
Who's not here?
And John's excused.
We have 20 present and 1 excused. Presentation of the agenda.
So moved.
For a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have an introduction of our Assistant District Attorney. Noreen?
August 22nd.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
For those of you who don't know, my prior Assistant District Attorney, Joan Korb, retired in July. So we had about a month's worth of time, 6 weeks of time without an Assistant District Attorney, and I was on the hunt for somebody. As of, I think, September 5th, right after Labor Day, Nick Grody, who's here with me today, started in our office. He came from Wood County Prosecutor's Office, so he's got experience as a prosecutor, and he can tell you a little bit more about himself, but I'm very excited, not only to have help, but that it's Nick who's helping me because he's been able to step right in and take over with very little direction. He's got even more prosecutorial experience than I do, so it's a good team, and I'd like to introduce Nick Grody.
Morning, everyone. As Mr. Ordine mentioned, my name is Nick Grody. I'm the new Assistant District Attorney in Door County. I come from Wood County, where I was an Assistant District Attorney for about 3 years. Graduated from Marquette Law School, served about 6 years in the United States Army, was a veteran of Operation Enduring Freedom. Married, my wife Erin. We're looking very forward to joining the Door County community, and thank you very much for the warm welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
Good morning.
Hopefully, prosecutor will be shorter.
Correspondence. In your package, you have the unassigned fund balance. Does anybody have any other correspondence they want to add? Public comment. Any public comment this morning? Approval of the minutes of the August 22nd, 2017 regular meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
Changes, additions, deletions, comments, grammatical remarks. Are there errors or omissions? All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution, transfer of non-budgeted funds, cost of abatement or removal of human health hazard, with all those numbers that follow it. Kathy?
I will make a motion to adopt resolution number 2017-56, transfer of non-budgeted funds.
Second.
Any
I would like
discussion,
Grant
explanation? Grant, would
explain.
you like to give us any explanation?
The resolution pretty well lays it out. We had a situation on Washington Island involving a parcel of land that was deemed to be a human health hazard. We litigated the case, got a judgment, and ultimately hired a contractor to go onto the property and abate or correct the human health hazard. The owner has refused or is unable to pay, so what we anticipate doing is placing the amount that it costs to abate the human health hazard on the tax roll for the parcel. If that remains delinquent for 2 years, we will include it in the in-rem process and then foreclose on the property and sell it to recoup our expenses. So.
Any other questions or discussion? Go to your voter board, please. That has passed 20 yes, 1 absent. Thank you. Resolution 2017-57, adopting Door County Emergency Response Plan pursuant to Section 323 Wisconsin statutes. Joel?
I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2017-57, please, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Explanation?
It would probably be prudent to have Mr. Romer explain
Yep.
it.
Dan was going to read it.
Dan's not going to read it.
Joel should read the entire 90-some page. 190.
Is that a motion?
Sorry.
Good morning.
Dan wanted to read it.
Morning, everyone. What you have in front of you, and I'm sure all of you have read it from cover to cover, is a short document that basically replaces our old emergency operation plan to a current emergency response plan that meets the National Incident Management Standards. And once we get this in place, it's also part of the plan of work that we have to submit for the state and for the grant, and that's got to be in by the end of this month. And we will then start training all of the departments individually and go through this, all their emergency support functions, and make sure it's not just a document that looks pretty, but is functional and works for everybody in the county.
Could you just explain the national incident, the transition, just the change, what that is?
The change from the EOP to the old emergency operation plans used to be based on an annex system. They had, I think it was 16 or 17 annexes. They're now replaced with emergency support functions, and we will actually set up our emergency operations center to operate with those emergency support functions. So we have personnel filling those slots that, like firefighting is one, hazmat is one, law enforcement, and we actually put people in those roles and can literally hand them that emergency support function now and have them work in an emergency operations center and fully understand what their duties are and what they need to accomplish when we activate the center. And we've had initial training on it. We did the Incident Command System Emergency Operations Center interface class, which 28 people attended from within the department, or from within the county. And we've been working on, we'll do more specific training like I stated, but it should be up and running. We should be, once this is in place, we can start actually utilizing an emergency operations center and be prepared for any large incident.
And did I hear you correctly, this will meet the requirements for our grants?
It's part of the requirements. It's one of the things that are required for the grant, yes.
Any other questions? Linda?
Has the amateur radio always been listed as a support agency in the past? It has been?
Yes.
For many
Yes.
years. Okay.
Anybody else? Thank you.
Okay.
Go to our voter board, please. And that's passed 20 yes, 1 absent. Resolution 2017-58, Wisconsin DHS Aging ADRC Integration Funding. Mark?
I would make a motion to pass Resolution 2017-58.
I'll second that.
Discussion, questions? If not, we'll go to our voter board.
I think we need a break.
Yes. We're not even making it till 9:30.
Somebody start talking.
One more ordinance and we're done. I think we need a break.
Jesus Christ.
Push the button.
Oh, I did.
And I'll go back and eat some
Do it
more.
again.
That is
I told
passed
you we need
20
a
yes,
break.
1 absent. Thank you. Ordinances 2017-11, Amendment of Chapter 35 Door County Code. Grant, do you want to?
This is purely a housekeeping measure. Every once in a while, we have to go in and just change the citation ordinance to reflect the reality on the ground. Some of the obvious changes are the change in name of the Planning Department to the Land Use Services Department, the change in name and substance of the shoreline zoning ordinance and the comprehensive zoning ordinance, and so on and so forth. But aside from those housekeeping measures, it is identical to Chapter 35 as it has been in place dating back to 1999.
Susan?
So the forfeitures themselves, the fees have not changed?
Much to my surprise, no. We looked at the forfeiture and the state assessment fees and costs, which we don't have any real control over because we update the deposit schedule as it changes, and it hasn't changed since the last time we visited this ordinance, which was January of 2012, so.
So
Mr.
it's
Fisher.
just housekeeping.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2017-11, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Susan?
One follow-up to what Grant answered my question with. How much of that money stays here, if any, or does it go to Madison?
The forfeiture amount only.
Of all of those?
Yes, the forfeiture amount will stay here. The rest, the deposit, like the 150, that stays in the county. The rest of it, the 176.50 goes to the state.
Anybody else?
In either case, truly offset the cost.
Okay, we're going to go to the voter board.
I do.
Come on, come on.
Right in and
One thing to do.
That has passed 20 yes, one
You're
absent.
welcome.
Sluggish this
I don't want to be such a long meeting.
Special reports.
Can have my cup of coffee.
New business. Any oral committee reports. Anybody want to review committee minutes? How about vouchers, claims, or bills?
Anything.
I have a couple of announcements.
we can't have a 15-minute meeting.
We're now going to recess.
We're not.
It's only 11.
Mr. Chairman, I did have a question on the vouchers and bills.
Yes, please.
It's a very nominal amount, but please, technical services, tell me what 4 thin clients are.
One of those little ice units.
Yeah.
Portable computer.
Jill can show you.
Pick one up.
We can give you a visual aid.
Right there it is.
Oh, thank you.
It's
Well,
a
that-
house computer.
if we got 4 of those for $97, that was a pretty good deal then.
They're a replacement for the desktops.
Thank you.
Anybody else with vouchers, claims, and bills? Announcements. Our next regular county board meeting would be October 24th at 9 a.m. You also should have received on your desk a memo concerning the per diem rates for WCA conference. If there's any questions on that, you can ask now or ask me later. The annual conference, of course, is the 24th to 26th, Wisconsin Dells. I do have a couple of announcements concerning that. First of all, I'm sure that you all saw the karaoke and dance party that's on Monday, September 25th. The suggestion was that since last year nobody participated in that from Door County, that we should all wear our pumpkin shirts and go there and do the Monster Mash dance. So just get that in your mindset, okay?
I'm glad I don't have a shirt.
We'll warm up your vocal cords.
Can I still cancel?
You might have to take a phone call at that.
The meeting per diem code is today's date in reverse, 919.
Oh, you're
Oh, cute. What am I going to do with it?
We're now going to
Watch the videos to
recess and proceed to the Central Ambulance Station in Door County Community Center. We ask that you enter through the gate by the grandstand, race down the midway as fast as you can, and park by the fair secretary or junior fair building. At that point, Wayne will meet us and pass out the necessary hard hats, and we will go on the tour.
Nancy.
So we are now in recess, and we will
Oh,
reconvene out there.
just hang on, let me get back in there.